I'm Brooke.
And I'm Taylor.
And today's video is interesting. It's definitely different. We've never filmed anything like this before. So we're both like out of our comfort zones, you know? We apologize for not being able to make something like kind of fun for you guys to enjoy this week, but we also thought it'd be kind of nice to make a video where you could like kind of connect with us a little more. So basically we originally wanted to make a video this week where we would discuss ways that we deal with our mental health, and then we kind of realized that maybe we're not in the best position to give that type of advice at the moment. We were going through our own things and it just felt like, why am I gonna sit there and give advice to somebody when like I'm going through it myself, you know? So instead what we've decided to do this week is we're each gonna talk to you guys separately on our own, and we're gonna kind of discuss like things I guess that we struggle with a little bit. This video will be talking about just about our experiences, life, you know, and just like how we deal with mental health and don't deal with it, reasonings for it, stuff like that. You guys are just basically getting to know us a little bit better, you know? Yeah. And we decided that this was also something that we needed to do separately because we are two separate individuals and we deal with different things and deal with them in different ways. And so I think it's important to kind of express that individually. We hope you guys enjoy the video. Next Friday's video will be more upbeat, you know? Yeah, it'll be more fun, we promise. But for now, enjoy this video. Get to know us a little more. Have a good week. Love ya. Have a good week. Peace out. Hi guys, it's Taylor. I'm here to talk to you guys by myself about things I guess that I go through. Mental health struggles that I face. Yeah, just my experiences I guess as an individual, as me. I want to preface my section here with saying like, I'm not looking for compliments, I'm not looking for sympathy from people. Like, this is simply just to share more of myself with you, and like I feel like have you get to know me better, the other parts of me that make me me and aren't really discussed as often. So, and I also want to say like I'm really nervous to put this on the internet. I don't open up easily with people, like especially in my real life. It's not easy for me to talk about these things, and I usually don't. I avoid it. I struggle a lot with comparison. I think growing up as a twin more recently, I've been nervous about someone choosing Brooke over me, especially in a relationship sense. And I think I've always struggled with that, especially when, you know, you experience certain things, and I always felt like I was just an option for people, and I didn't feel like anyone truly wanted me sometimes. I feel weird towards the sense of being chosen. I just want to appear perfect to people. I just want to seem like there would be nothing wrong with me and like I would just be such a great choice. And I don't know, it's this weird, I have a bad relationship with appearances, how I come off to people, and what people think of me has always really mattered to me, and I hate that. I've never wanted to be someone who cares what other people think. I still don't, but that's what my brain does. It automatically just wonders what everyone thinks of me all the time. And I'm really trying to correct that because it's not fun to be constantly worried that you're not what somebody would want. I didn't really know how to say everything that's on my mind because there's just years and years worth of experiences and I don't really have that time. So I was thinking like I could read something that I put in my journal a couple nights ago. So I heard this quote that once said, if you're underthinking, to read a book, and if you're overthinking, to just write. The other night I was overthinking like crazy and I was super upset and whatever, and it helped. It worked. It was the first time I ever did it since hearing that quote. I think I wrote some things that would be relative to what I'm talking about today. So this is super scary for me. This is a journal of mine. Like, it's weird to be sharing this, I guess. I'm just going to read part of this. I don't really know where to start. I'm having a hard time today with my motivation and the trouble I face with the concept of time. That's something else I can speak on later. I have a big fear of time. I didn't make my bed, I didn't read, we didn't film for YouTube because instead we fought. I know I'm tired, but sometimes I can't help but feel like I'm wasting my time or that I don't deserve rest. Social media is also getting to me. I wrote some specific things that I'm going to skip. I had really strong feelings of being behind or like a failure. I hate not feeling confident. I hate not being happy with myself. I hate that I often think about death despite the power it has to terrify me. I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm exhausted of myself. I wish to stop arguing with my sister, Brooke. I wish for things to be as they once were. I wish to return to the mindset I had at 14, the time where I loved my best friend, the time I didn't compare us both, the last age I believe I was truly my happiest. So that's big. A lot of that, or all of it, is true. Like I said, I have a big issue with the concept of time. It's something that I'm really fearful of. I'm not really good at growing up, or I guess I'm not good with conceptualizing it and accepting the fact that I'm growing up. And I miss my childhood a lot, and it's something that's really difficult for me. And I truly think that 14 or 15 was probably my last years of being like completely me without thinking the worst of everything. 16 is where I really changed, I think, when I started realizing that I had to have a job and that my summers weren't for me anymore and stuff, and I felt like I was growing up, and I could really feel it, and it was the first time that I was scared, and I was only 16. And then something else that's really big that has really affected me this year especially would be the comparison between Brooke and I. It's so exhausting to like constantly be thinking, if boys look at the two of us, they'll be like, oh, that one's hot, but that one's not. It's a really hard thing to grow up with social media and be comparing yourself to girls on the internet already. Like, that's something that I think women can face in really extreme amounts, and being a twin is not something that a lot of people can relate to or understand. It's a very unique experience, and as much fun as it is, and there's way more positives to it, there's some really hard things that people don't talk about. I'm disappointed with how people have treated us, and I'm sad to say that the way people have treated us has affected me. I feel like most people in the world have insecurities as well, and like, to just be constantly compared to someone, it's just so tiring. I want us to be able to be separate, and then when we're together, we don't feel threatened by what the other one's doing, because I feel like that a lot, and that's not right, and I know it's not right. Those are kind of the things that I wanted to speak about, but I don't want to leave this on a negative note, so I will just mention a few things that I have been doing to try to help the situation and try to ease the things that are difficult for me. I have a notebook similar to this one, and in it I just track all the times I feel like I've ever like conquered one of my insecurities. So that doesn't mean like it's dead and gone and I don't have it anymore, just one day where I've done something opposite. Another thing I've been doing is working out a lot. I follow a YouTuber, she has a program online, so I've been healthily working out with a positive mindset and doing it for health reasons and to feel good and to just move, and not to be skinny and perfect for Instagram or nothing like that. Like, my motives have changed towards working out, which has made a huge difference for me personally. Meditation is something that I've also really taken on this year especially. Like, I've been doing it for a few years now, but this year really focusing on doing it often and weekly. And it's made such a difference for me as well. It helps me calm down, be more present in the moment, and it really helps me calm down my anxiety. Once again, I've been putting that quote to use recently, where if you're underthinking, read a book. If you're overthinking, write. It's really easy for me to judge my days that way. So I've been applying stuff like that to my life. Just simple things. When I'm on social media, changing my following list. I unfollow people that don't inspire me and following people that do the opposite. So that's as much as I'm willing to share for today. Thank you for listening to us both separately. You can always DM me. DM me on Instagram at taylorcburns. I really hope that this video could be any sort of like relatable to you, and just realize that I'm such a normal person and I deal with like so much shit too. And that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next Friday's video. Bye. Okay, hi. This feels so weird. What's up? I'm Brooke. I was kind of nervous about filming this video because of a couple of reasons. I think one, I don't really talk about my feelings and how I feel very often. I'm a very closed off person, and I don't like to talk about it, even though sometimes like there are moments where I feel like I need somebody to talk to. Also because I feel like sometimes I don't really know what I'm talking about. I've never been to a therapist or diagnosed by doctors with anything, so sometimes like when I feel like what I talk about like doesn't feel real. I know I've had a really good life growing up, so it feels sometimes wrong for me to feel the way that I do, so that's also another big part of it. But regardless of all of that, I'm still going to talk to you guys today because I know how important it is to talk about it, and also because I get a lot of DMs on Instagram just talking about how like people don't feel good, they feel alone. And I get it because we all go through that, and I go through that a frick ton, and I just don't show it. I'm working on my best trying to show it, but it's definitely difficult and it's more easier said than done. With that whole long outro, welcome to my part, and I hope like you can just take away something positive from this video, learn more about myself and Taylor. I'm not a professional. These are just things that I feel what I've personally experienced, and I just hope you can take away something from that. Okay, maybe to touch more on like why I don't talk about it as much and that sort of thing. Growing up, I've always been close with my family. My family and I have always been like a loving home, like I don't really know, but we've never been close in the way that like we share how we feel. We're very open about that, and it's nothing like, I'm not trying to diss my family, but it just like is the way it is. I've just grown up like keeping things to myself, and yeah, it's also happened like throughout my life because I've never really had one best friend or like a good friend group where I felt supported and I felt like I could trust people. I have like a really hard time trusting people. When it comes down to like deep shit, like Taylor's like pretty much the only one that I talk to, and there's still like things that are hard for me to open up even with her. So I know it's like also a personal thing, but it's also like just how I've grown up. Yeah, I've had a lot of people, like a lot of friends leave, to be honest. There hasn't been one solid friend like that I've known since like a really young age, or like all throughout high school where like we've been like insanely close. Just hasn't been that way. One of my good friends now, like we've definitely like opened up about it more, I think, with each other, but still like not to the full extent that like I feel humans need. I feel like I'm talking like all over the place. Basically, I think it's important that you have a friend to talk about mental health with and to talk about your true feelings, because although family is great, yes, siblings are great and stuff, it's different like connecting with another human like who you have like no obligations to, you have no ties to, different than growing up like all your life because you're family, because you had to, you know. When you're talking with someone and there's no reason like for that connection to ever stay, it's just different. So with that being said, like my DMs are always open. I always respond to DMs about mental health. In my experience, even though, okay, it's so hard to talk about it, almost getting diagnosed would like relieve something in me, because there would be like more clarity and like just confirmation to like what I go through and what I feel is like actually real. So in my opinion, I deal with anxiety. I've dealt with depression in the past, for sure. Social anxiety has been a thing since I was a kid. Like looking back, it's just always been me. So yeah, that's something I've dealt with. And then also an eating disorder, something I struggle with. Body image is something I've struggled with for many years now. It's honestly probably been longer than I thought, because I never had talked to somebody. But I'm sure if I got down to like fully thinking about it, it's been like over 5 years for sure. So that one's a tricky one for me to talk about. But so yeah, like saying all that, and the things that I do feel like I go through and what I do deal with, there are a lot of days where I don't do anything about it. I don't handle it in a positive way at all, and I know that for sure. And I think that's like something that gets to me, is that when like you guys ask for advice or like what do you do, it's like sometimes I don't even feel like I should be talking about it, because I know how I handle when I feel anxiety, when I feel like I'm just in a bad headspace, and not do anything about it. And you can see it physically. I'll be in a really bad mood, I'll be really irritated, I'll lash out around the people around me, and like because of all that, like, so then I know I don't deal with it always in the best ways. I'm definitely trying to improve it, and there are things that have worked for me, but that's why it's just hard sometimes when you guys ask me for advice, because I want you to know that I don't know always what the best and right answer is for situations like that. It's scary because having people look up to you in that way, I don't want you guys to think that I'm perfect and I know everything that I'm doing, and like I have everything figured out, when a lot of the times I feel very lost and I feel very confused. So personally for me, when I'm dealing with very bad anxiety, I do not listen to sad music. It's like the worst decision ever. I know if I'm listening to sad music, it's just gonna go downhill real fast, so I don't do that. If I'm comfortable feeling like I want to talk about it, I'll talk about it with Taylor. I've heard somewhere that when you're like starting to feel in that type of headspace, just to get out of your environment, to move. Like, it doesn't even mean like you have to go outside on this hike or anything. Like, it could just be like moving from your bedroom to your kitchen, like whatever. Just moving around is supposed to help a lot, and I find that when I do that, it gives me a second to calm down. I'll do that. Meditation has been huge for me. If you haven't meditated, it's not like this weird hippie thing, trust me. It's like, it's good. It does its shit, let me tell you. Every single time I go into a meditation for anxiety, I'm like, this isn't gonna help. I'm still gonna feel the same way. And then I take like those 10 minutes and then I come out on the other side a completely different person. So I'm seriously telling you, if you haven't meditated, try it. Guided meditations. I'll leave some in the description below, so you guys can check them out. You know, sometimes I just do something simple. I'll hang out with Simba or Kenzie. I'll read, decorate my room, like just do something to like get myself moving, because I know if I just wallow and sit around in my bed, like it'll just get worse, and that's just, it's not a fun road to go down. So okay, yeah, so thank you guys so much for listening to me speak about my experiences with mental health, and just honestly just listening. And I just hope that you got to learn something from this video, whether it's about yourself or about myself. Taylor and I love you guys so much. We're so close to 30,000, which is so cool. My mind can't even wrap around the fact that it's gonna be 30,000 of you soon. So thank you guys so much for sticking with us. Love you guys so much, and we'll see you next Friday. Love you. Take care of yourself. You're dope. Have a good day, afternoon, night, wherever you are.